Good morning! It's Saturday. Let's do some yoga. So, hopefully you can hear me. I got these new headphones with a new microphone. My other one's broke, so hopefully this all goes well. Anyway, we'll start with our meditation as usual. Today's class I'm going to do a little bit more gentle than I have been doing in the past on these Saturday classes. And hopefully you guys who partake in them are enjoying them so far. So you can grab your block or your pillow or rolled up blanket, whatever it is, and we'll start with our meditation. So you can get nice and comfortable on your seat. Just sitting up nice and tall. Wiggle around a bit. You can place the hands on the legs, wherever's comfortable. And then just beginning by taking some nice deep breaths here. In through the nose and out through the mouth. When you feel ready, you can close your eyes. And just start to tune in with your surroundings. So noticing the different sounds that you hear, feeling the weight of the body pressing down. So this first few minutes that we do at the beginning of every class is really important for fostering that connection to your breath, which is, of course, a very important part of yoga and movement, is that connection to your breath. So we're just going to check in with the body today. So at your own pace, at your own time, you can start at the top of the head and just gradually, mentally scan down through the body, all the way down towards the toes. This is an even scan, so we're not trying to get caught up in one area, just noticing, observing the different parts of the body as you make your way down towards your toes. You might also notice kind of a general feeling or emotional quality of today. Just again observing it as you continue to scan down towards the toes. Noticing when you get distracted, and just pick up where you left off. Your little body scan. Once you reach the feet, invite a motivation or an intention into your practice. It's that positive statement for you or someone else. And then draw the attention to your breath. Noticing the different qualities of your inhale and the different qualities of your exhale. Staying present with that movement in the body. Following the full length of your inhale and the full length of your exhale. So here the goal is not to push away thoughts or resist them. It's more an acknowledgement that they're there, and then returning gently the attention to the breath. Just recognizing when you get distracted. And to the physical sensations in the body. Movement of breath, points of contact. When you're ready, just slowly bringing your awareness back into the space around you, noticing the sounds that you hear, feeling the weight of the body, noticing the points of contact on the ground, hands on the legs. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes and just take a moment to appreciate how you feel. Okay, so we're gonna make our way right into a child's pose from here. So you can move your pillow, block, whatever you're sitting on, make your way onto your mat, and just begin to sink your weight. Sorry, Coco. Sink your weight down your seat towards your heels. You can have your knees together to open up more through the back, or knees wide to open up more through the hips. You can have the arms extended or along your side body, whatever feels best for you today. And just taking some nice deep breaths right here in our child's pose, really allowing the breath to go right into the lowest part of the belly. And as you exhale, there's an opportunity just to sink a little bit deeper into the pose. We're just going to take 3 more nice deep breaths right here. And then when you're ready, we're going to wave forward, shifting into our neutral tabletop. So stacking the wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath the hips, spreading all the fingers really wide. Grip the mat here with the pads of the fingers, trying to relieve any pressure on the wrist. So this will become increasingly important when you come into a plank or a downward facing dog. Just really, I'll remind you again, because I think it's very important, spread all your fingers. Okay, crown of the head, which is the very top of your head, lengthens forward as you relax through the shoulders. Drawing the belly in here, so you have a nice flat spine as your tailbone extends behind you. Very good. Flowing through our cat and cow, just to warm up through the spine a bit. As you exhale, round and down through the upper back, releasing the weight of the head, resisting into the hands. So if you imagine this little string here tied between your shoulder blades, just guiding you up towards the ceiling, or that part of your back up towards the ceiling. Flowing with your breath as you inhale, Belly drops, gaze comes forward, tailbone lifts. Playing with your breath, exhale to cat. And inhale to cow. Feeling free to invite other movement into the body that feels natural. You can do front to back, side to side, making little circles. Whatever feels best for you today. We'll do 2 more rounds of breath here, so 2 more cat and cow. Very good. And then when you're ready, we're just going to sink back again into a child's pose, nice and comfortable. And for those just joining us, I'm not sure how many people are watching, but today's class I'm trying to do a little bit more gentle than I have done in the past on Saturday. It just feels like one of those days, at least for me. So feeling free to listen to your body. Of course, take breaks as you need, but I'm trying to go a little bit slower today. And just reconnecting with your breath. See if you can, again, follow that kind of rhythm in the body, even in this posture, right? Noticing the different parts of the body that move as you continue to breathe here in your child's pose. Following all those qualities right from the beginning to the end, and just allowing other thoughts to pass you by. Very good. When you're ready, we're going to lift back up into our neutral tabletop. And we're going to do a thread the needle from here. So when you're ready, you're going to shift the weight so that it's remaining on the left side here. You're going to float your right arm out in line with the shoulder. So, I think it's important to have even weight through the 3 remaining points on the ground, so both your knees and then your left hand. So you still have a little micro bend, hello kitty. You still have a little micro bend through your left arm, so we're not locking into our elbow joint. Very good. And on an exhale, you're going to draw your right arm in between your left arm and your left thigh. You're gradually working your cheek down towards the ground. Hello, Fluff. So you can keep your left hand right where it is, or if you want, you can float it up towards the ceiling. Whatever feels more comfortable for you. Important though that we're not putting any or too much tension on your neck. So we're not using our head to support us here, we're using our shoulder and our knees still. Very good. If it's comfortable for your left arm as well, you can come into a little bind. You're just placing your left hand either on your lower back, or if it's accessible, reaching towards your right inner thigh. Relaxing through the shoulders, breathing deeply into the lower belly. Very good. Reversing the posture if your left arm is lifted. Just going to place it back down, kind of right in front of your face. Again, spread all those fingers because we're about to push into it, putting some weight on the wrist here, on the pads of the fingers. Lifting up, reversing the posture. So you're bringing your right arm back out in line with your shoulder first, and then placing the right hand down nice and slow. All right, second side. When you're ready, lifting that left arm in line with the shoulder, parallel to the ground. Even weight through the 3 remaining points. And on an exhale, threading that left arm between your right arm and your right leg. Taking any variation that serves you with your right arm on this side. And breathing into sensation. Remembering here with your exhale, there's an opportunity just to sink a little bit further into the pose. Very good. Nice and slow. We're going to unravel if that right arm was lifted. Now place it back down on the ground. Resist into the right hand. Lift up. Reversing the posture. Nice and slow. Very good. Exhale. Now sinking back again into your child's pose. Waving forward back into your neutral tabletop. And now we're going to send our legs a little bit further back. So we're coming into either a plank, or I'll encourage you to step back into your modified plank. So an easy way to do that is just extend the legs just for a moment and then drop the knees down. So in your modified plank, you want to stack your shoulders over top of your wrists. Again, what are we doing with the fingers? We're spreading them all really wide, gripping them back with the pads of the fingers. Crown lengthens forward, shoulders are relaxed. Draw the belly in. Very good. If the knees are lifted, really engage through the quadriceps and high on the balls of the feet. On an inhale, you're going to shift forward of the fingertips. It's a little awkward on the knees, but doable. And as you exhale, squeeze the elbows in towards the side body, lower all the way down to the belly. Untuck the toes, shoelaces down, tops of your feet into the mat. Engage through the quadriceps, so knees are lifted up off the ground, but the feet are still on the floor. Rooting into your frontal hip bones, hands by your upper ribs, drawing the elbows in towards one another. As you relax through the shoulders, chin or forehead on the ground just to start. And as you inhale, we're going to lift up into a baby cobra. So just nice and slow. If you feel like lifting up a little bit further, you certainly can. But anywhere where your elbows are bent is accessible or is acceptable for your cobra. And just lifting up into a really nice baby cobra today. So you can certainly be resisting into your hands in your baby cobra, or if you want, you can float the hands a little bit. And just reconnecting with your breath here. Allowing that free-flowing breath to happen. You might move a little bit, belly lifts up as you inhale. That's fine, just allowing that to happen. Very good. On an exhale, you can release everything down. Okay. We're going to spend a bit of time on our bellies. So you're going to bring your arms along your side body here. You can have the palms facing down just to start. Again, chin or forehead on the ground. We still have all that engagement through the legs, so really firm with the shoelace part of the foot down on the ground as you engage through the quadriceps and root into the frontal hip bones. And just notice how it feels to breathe here on your belly. Alright, very good. So, when I inhale, we're going to do a variation of our cobra, but with the arms along the side body, the palms facing down. A little different stretch here for our back and our shoulders. So as you inhale, you're going to lift up once again. You can walk your fingertips back a little bit further if that feels better. You might be lifted up a little bit higher than in your cobra. And again, just continuing to breathe, just lifting the head, neck, and shoulders. Very good. On an exhale, releasing back down, all the way down to the belly. And just take a couple breaths here. Now we're going to do the same thing with our legs this time. So see if you can bring your big toes to touch before you begin to lift up. Really firming into those frontal hip bones. That's what we're going to try and balance into. So when you're ready, as you inhale, pointing through the feet, lifting the legs just as far as feels comfortable while still keeping your chin or forehead on the ground. Very good. On an exhale, releasing back down. Now we're going to incorporate both. So you can keep your hands right where they are with the palms facing down, or another option is to have the palms facing one another, thumbs pointing down. A third option, you can interlace the hands at your lower back. If you've chosen this option, notice if you can bring the heels of your hands together, because that's what you're working towards. If you can't do that, just lying on your belly, I don't recommend doing this option. Okay, so on an inhale, you're going to lift head, neck, shoulders, and extend the arms behind you or keep them on the mat where they were. Point through the feet, bring the big toes to touch. And you're just kind of rocking here as you breathe. Remember, if your hands are interlaced, you're trying to bring the heels of your hands together. Two more breaths. Very good. On an exhale, releasing everything down. Nice and relaxed now. There's no effort in the body. You can allow one cheek to rest on the ground if that feels comfortable. Very good. You're going to slide your hands back by your upper ribs. Remember to draw your elbows in towards one another. You can tuck your toes under just for a little bit of support. And as you inhale, lifting up either into a plank or modified plank. And exhale, sinking the seat back into your child's pose. Very good. On an inhale, shifting back into your neutral tabletop. And we're going to tuck the toes under, lift the seat up and back, downward facing dog. So in downward facing dog, you want to have even weight through the 4 points on the mat here, your hands and your feet. Spreading all your fingers, again, really wide. Your gaze is at your toes, ears at your upper arm bones. Relaxing through the shoulders. Drawing the belly in and lifting the seat nice and high. You have a soft bend through the knees as you gradually work your heels down towards the ground. Okay. On an inhale, you're going to round through the spine, shift forward into a plank pose. Drop the knees if you need to, of course. And we're going to slowly lower down into our forearm plank. So hopefully it was a little bit graceful. Not always the case though. So in your forearm plank, your forearms are in front of you, spreading all your fingers really wide and stacking your shoulders over top of your elbows this time, high on the balls of your feet if your knees are lifted. And we're slowly going to lower down into a Sphinx pose. So you're going to untuck the toes, lower the hips and the legs. Shoelace part of the foot down on the ground, all those same principles with our cobra. Rooting into your frontal hip bones. So you can allow this to be more passive and just hang out here. If you want to be a little bit more active, you're going to actively draw your chest in between your upper arms. So rooting into the hips and drawing the chest forward. You get a really nice stretch through the back and the shoulders here. Remembering to relax the shoulders back and down. You have a nice soft gaze. Very good. When you're ready, you're going to tuck your toes under, tap to your knees again if you need to, and lift up into your forearm plank. And we're going to shift back into our high plank, or you can use our modified plank, and exhale with the seat, downward facing dog. As you inhale, gaze between the palms. As you exhale, you're going to walk to meet the hands, forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Take as many steps as you need to. In your forward fold, feet hip bone width distance, generally about 2 fists between your feet. And lift up all your toes and ground down into the 4 remaining points on the ground of your feet. So even weight distribution through the feet. In your forward fold, you can have your knees bent as much as feels comfortable. Most importantly though, releasing any tension in the neck. Allow it to hang heavy. Like a bowling ball on a string. You can gently move your head from one side to the other. And sway side to side, if that feels comfortable. Very good. As you inhale, lifting up halfway, half flat back. So, in half flat back, you can place your hands on your thighs or your shins, maybe the floor. Crown of the head lengthens forward, shoulders are relaxed, draw the belly in. Most importantly, not sinking the weight into the heels, keeping that even weight distribution. As you exhale, folding down, forward fold. As you inhale, root into the feet, bend through the knees, rise all the way up, arms overhead. And exhale, bring the hands down, heart center. Okay. So at the top of your mat, we'll do some balancing stuff. Top of your mat, again, really important to keep that hip bone width distance, structure of the legs, make it a lot easier to move in our balancing postures. When you're ready, you shift the weight onto the left side, hover your right foot. Okay, so here's your opportunity to find your balance. Find a drishti, which is a focal point on the wall or the floor that isn't moving. Notice your balance on this side. I can already tell I'm a little shaky on this side. But just really trying to firm and root into that left standing foot. When you feel ready, you bring your hands to your hips. As you exhale, draw your right knee in line with your right hip. We're making our way into Garudasana, or eagle pose. So when you're ready, when you feel stable and you found your balance, you're going to cross your right thigh over your left and work towards, might not get there, probably won't, work towards wrapping your right ankle around your left calf. So you're gonna bring a deep bend through that left knee as well. Squeeze your thighs together. Here at the same time, gently lifting through your frontal hip bones as you knit your ribs together, your front ribs together. You're drawing the belly in, navel to spine, relaxing through the shoulders, crown of the head lengthens. So you can stay here. If you'd like to incorporate the arms, you can bring the arms out in line with the shoulders. As you exhale, crossing right arm over the left, you have a few variations. You can allow just your hands to rest on your shoulders. You can allow the backs of the hands to touch, or maybe you want to interlace the hands. If you've chosen the forearms out in front, there's a little action here. So as you inhale, you're going to lift up. Oh, falling over. And you're going to lift up with the elbows. As you exhale, draw away with the forearms. At the same time, relaxing through the shoulders. And we're of course not overextending. We're not trying to contort ourselves. It's just a gentle movement. Just holding for 2 more breaths. Very good. Unraveling nice and slow. And releasing that right leg down. Shake out the left leg. On to our second side. Shifting the weight on to the right side. Hover the left foot. Finding your drishti. On this side, noticing how you feel. Is it different than the other side? That's okay. When you feel stable, hands to your hips. Standing knee, drawing the left knee in line with the left hip. Important here that you want to drop this left hip down beneath the right, so you have a nice neutral pelvis. On an exhale, you're going to cross the left thigh over the right, bring a deep bend through that right knee, sinking back in your little one-legged chair, and actively working towards drawing that left ankle around the right calf. All right, lifting through the frontal hip bones, drawing the belly in, not popping or arching through the back. Whew. And if you want to incorporate the arms, you can bring the arms out of line with the shoulders. Exhale, cross left arm over the right, bend at the elbows, a few different variations, hands to your shoulders, backs of the hands to touch. We're interlacing the hands. And bring that little action with the arms if the forearms are in front of you. Inhale to lift up, exhale to draw away. Two more breaths. Very good. And as you exhale, you can unravel nice and slow, reverse the posture, release that left leg down, shake out the leg. Okay. Let's do another version of our sun salutation, and we'll start to do some more floor work. So at the top of your mat, as you inhale, sweep the arms up. As you exhale, fold forward here, hinging from your hips. As you inhale, lengthen halfway. As you exhale, plant the palms around the feet. Step back into a plank or modified plank posture. Very good. When you're ready, shifting onto the forearms in your forearm plank. And then lowering the hips and the legs down into your Sphinx pose. Remember to untuck the toes, shoelace part of the foot down. Knees are lifted, but you're rooting into your frontal hip bones. Active or passive, so you can draw the chest between the arms or not. And we're going to take 5 breaths here. I'll encourage you to incorporate Ujjayi breath or ocean breath, which is a very slight constriction of the back of the throat as you breathe in and out through the nose. Very good. When you finished, your 5 breaths. You're going to tuck the toes back under, tap to the knees if you need to, lifting up into your forearm plank, and then shifting back into high plank. Again, you can have the knees on the ground. Exhale, lift the seat up and back, downward facing dog. Alright, we're going to shift the knees down now, sink back into a child's pose just for a couple breaths. Very good. When you're ready, we're going to roll up into a kneeling posture. You're going to come into a variation of camel pose. So in camel pose, you want to stack your shoulders over top of your hips and your hips over top of your knees. So you're nice and stacked here. Crown of the head lengthens up, but drawing the tailbone down. You're going to place your hands just, if you guys can see, you're placing your hands just kind of at your lower back, with the fingertips pointing down, and then actively drawing your elbows in towards one another so you relax through the shoulders. I like to be high on the balls of the feet, just relieve some of that tension off the knees. It's a personal preference though. So you can stay here if you already feel a stretch. If you'd like to go a bit further, on an exhale, you're just going to gently lift the gaze up towards the ceiling. But we don't want to shift the hips from their place above the knees. Just being mindful that that hasn't moved. You're just gently arching the upper back. It's shifting back as far as feels comfortable without shifting the hips. Remember that actively drawing the elbows in towards one another. We're going to hold here for 5 breaths. We're really lengthening through the neck here, shoulders relaxing, crown lengthening in whatever direction it's pointing. Very good. And when you've finished your 5 breaths, we're going to make our way back into a child's pose just to counteract that. So taking your time, nice and slow. And take a couple breaths here just to release. Into a kneeling posture. Shift the weight onto one side. Extend the legs out in front of you. Dandasana, staff pose. So, in your staff pose, flexing through both of the feet. And really engage through the legs, kind of just as we were in our standing postures, inviting that engagement through the quadriceps. Now you can bring your hands, if it's accessible for you, bring them along your side body. Spreading all the fingers again, and just gently lift the upper body out of the lower body. So we're really actively lifting the crown up, lifting through all 4 sides of the torso here in our Dandasana. It's a pretty active pose, even though all we're doing is just sitting on the, sitting on the ground. So just keeping that in mind. So you release the hands, excuse me, you release the hands and just still and try and maintain that lift if you can. Just notice how that feels to hold yourself up in that position. It could be a bit challenging. Now we're going to do a fold here. When you're ready, as you inhale, sweeping the arms up. And as the Sorry, my headphones turned off. Okay, so lifting the arms up overhead as you inhale, and as you exhale, folding forward. So you're just placing your hands anywhere comfortable along the length of your legs, wherever they fall. We're not pulling or reaching for anything in particular. You're just allowing the upper body to kind of drape over the lower body. Breathing into any sensations that you feel. If releasing through the neck doesn't feel very comfortable, you can certainly keep the neck lifted, chest lifted. We're just going to hold here for 3 more breaths. And bring that free flowing movement of breath, not restricting it in any way. Very good. On an inhale, you're going to roll back to center. We're going to come into a spinal twist from here. So I'm going to draw the right knee in towards your chest. You can stay right here if you'd like. If you'd like to go a little bit further, cross the right foot over the left thigh. Important to keep your right sit bone glued down and your right foot, all 4 corners of your right foot glued down on the ground as well. Setting up nice and tall. And you can stay here. If you'd like to go further, you can draw that left heel in towards your right glute, but remembering we're still keeping the right sit bone glued down, right foot on the ground. Sitting up nice and tall, crown lengthens up, lifting through all 4 sides of the torso, taking a nice deep breath in here. And as you exhale, twisting from the waist towards the right. So you're going to tent your right fingertips behind you. Bring a deep bend through that right elbow. So you can just allow that left hand or the left arm to kind of cradle the right thigh. If it's accessible, I'll encourage you to hook your left elbow on your right thigh. So as you inhale, lengthen through the crown. As you exhale, you could twist just a micro amount more towards the right. Again, the twist coming from the waist, not from the head, not from the shoulders. But if it feels comfortable, maybe gazing over that right shoulder. Very good. On an exhale, you can unravel. Extend the legs back out in front of you, Dandasana, staff pose. Making your way onto our second side. Draw the left knee in towards the chest. Again, you can stay here. If you'd like to go further, crossing that left foot over the right thigh. Remembering to keep that left sit bone glued down, all 4 corners of your left foot down on the ground. You can stay here if you'd like to go further. Drawing that right heel in towards your left glute. Noticing how you feel from side to side. What you did on the other side might not be the same what you want to do on this side. So just listening to your body. Very good. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Lift through all 4 sides of the torso as you inhale, sweep the arms up. As you exhale, twist from the waist, tense your left fingertips behind you. Deep bend through that left elbow. Again, you can kind of cradle this left thigh, or you can hook your right elbow on your left thigh. Whatever feels best. Inhale, lengthen, flowing with your breath. Lengthen through the crown. Exhale, gently twist, just a micro amount more from the waist. Maybe gazing over the left shoulder. Just 2 more breaths here. And when you feel ready, you can unravel. We'll make our way down onto our backs now. So you can place the feet on the floor, knees to the sky. Place the hands on the underside of the thighs. You're going to draw the belly in, slowly lower down. Try not to flop. Shaking is normal. Once you reach the ground, you can draw the knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a hug. If that's not comfortable for you, you can still have the feet on the floor, knees to the sky. A little bit gentler for the lower back. All right, we're gonna come into a hip stretch. So, because we didn't do any lunges today, but we're going to do kind of a variation of our lizard pose, but on our backs. So kind of looks like a half happy baby. So when you're ready, there's a few variations you can take with that left leg. You can place the left foot on the mat, knee to the sky, or if you want, you can extend that left leg out along the mat. If your left leg is extended, then your left toes are flexed as well. So you're going to draw that right knee in towards your chest. You can also use like a tie or a scarf or a strap if you have one, and just kind of hold your knee in place. If that's enough for you, you can certainly stay there. If it is accessible, I'll encourage you to bring your right arm on the inside of your right leg and just grab a hold of either kind of your lower leg, your ankle, or maybe wrapping your peace fingers around your big toe. So here, your right knee is kind of going off to the side a bit. The top of your right thigh is grazing, or working towards anyway, grazing the right side body and working its way down towards the mat. That's what we're going for. Remember, if your left leg is extended, flex through the left toes. I'm just going to take a couple breaths here. Noticing your posture through your neck. Hi, baby. So you're inviting a gentle tuck through the chin. Just relaxing through the shoulders. Very good. All right, when you're ready, you can extend that right leg out to meet the left, or you can extend both legs if your left knee was bent. Shake out the legs a bit, and then we'll make our way out to our second side. You draw the left knee in towards the chest. Again, use a strap, use a rope, anything that you have. You're going to draw that left knee a little bit off towards the side, kind of in towards your armpit. You can keep your right leg bent if you like. If you kept your left or your right knee bent, you really want to firm into your right foot. So notice if your knee is playing out towards the side, you want to firm it down, keep it in line with the hip. Same if you're extending through the right leg, flexing through the right toes, keeping everything in line. So you can certainly stay here. If you'd like to go further, you can flex through the left toes, grab a hold from the inside of your left leg, grabbing a hold of any part of the left leg that's accessible, maybe wrapping the peace fingers around the big toe. Gradually working that top of your left thigh down towards the ground. Very good. When you're ready, release that left leg down, extend it out along the mat. So we have time for one more pose before we come into our final Shavasana. So we're going to come into a Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined bound angle. So you're going to bring the soles of the feet together, knees out towards the side, feet on the floor. We're going to stay here for a couple minutes. So you can feel free to grab a pillow, place it underneath your thighs if that's more comfortable. But just keeping in mind here that you can really make this posture your own. So you can kind of extend the feet a little bit further away from the body if you like, if that's more comfortable, or you can bring them in a little bit closer. Noticing your posture again. Gentle tuck through the chin, relaxing through the shoulders. I'll encourage you to place your hands on your belly and just reconnect with your breath here. Breathing calmly in and out through the nose. Incorporating our Ujjayi breath once again. Okay, we're going to make our way into our final pose. So you can grab your socks, grab your sweater, grab a blanket, whatever you need. If you want to stay right here in our Supta Baddha Konasana for your final pose, feeling free to listen to your body. If you want to extend the legs, come into Shavasana, you can do that as well. I'll encourage you, once you arrive in your final pose, let's do it again, scan down through the body, just as we did at the beginning. So starting at the top of the head, evenly scan down towards the toes. Observing any subtle differences from when you first arrived. Once you reach the feet, you can invite again that motivation or intention into your practice. And just reconnecting with your breath. Noticing different qualities of your breath. And slowly begin to draw your awareness back into the space around you. Noticing different sounds that you hear. Slowly invite some movement back into the body. And slowly make your way up to Sukhasana, easy seated posture. Just healing our practice here this morning. Once you arrive in Sukhasana, you can bring your hands at heart center. Close your eyes. I thank you so much for allowing me to guide your practice this morning. I hope it brought you some peace. The light in me honors and respects the light in you. Namaste. And just a reminder, I have buy donation classes as well on Thursday evenings. You can feel free to send me a message or check out my website for more information. Thanks, everyone.